As truth seekers, journalists are expected to be neutral when reporting on the comings and goings of the world. The terms subjective and objective often spark controversy in the field of journalism. But what do they even mean? More importantly, what happens to news when a journalist fails to balance between the two? To answer this question, we have to look deeper. Subjectivity are biases that we hold as human beings as a result of our upbringing. In journalism, this can manifest through aspects like the selection, framing, language use, and even angle of news reports. On the other hand, we have objectivity, the factual and impartial reporting of events, a crucial aspect of journalistic practice. But as gatekeepers of information, journalists often need to rely on personal judgment to determine which stories to report on, making it difficult to be completely objective. Ishtvan Rev argues that, quote, "In journalism, subjectivity is not the binary opposite of objectivity," end quote. Subjectivity becomes necessary for a journalist on two accounts. Firstly, in cases of crime-related stories. Take the story of war crimes committed rampantly during the Russian-Ukraine war. To expose the truth and shed light on the atrocities, it's imperative for journalists to take a stance and defend the victims. Secondly, when writing opinion or feature stories. Here, a journalist could rely on their credibility to critique and discuss issues requiring deeper analysis, which is often difficult to do in hard news. But being too objective or too subjective is not good either. In fact, it can lead to a number of issues.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ngoo Ik Ing. I'm the head of department for the Department of Media and Communication. I've been teaching Curtin for more than 10 years, and I was a journalist with The Star and news stringer for Malaysia Clinic. Being too objective will make you sound like, I'm not part of this and I don't care what you are doing. I just want to get information. But sometimes it's the emotional part that the interviewee wants, and also that is what the audience wants.
The industry relies on ethical guidelines to ensure that journalists create fair and unbiased reports. There are many press organizations that have set a code of ethics for journalists, but I'll be focusing on the MEAA. The Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance, also known as MEAA, have 3 points which specifically prohibit subjective journalism. Point 1 necessitates the honest and accurate reporting of facts. Point 2 states to avoid emphasis on personal characteristics. And Point 4 prohibits the influence of personal belief and interests. It's difficult to tell whether they address the importance of journalistic subjectivity in some cases. But one thing is for sure, journalists can never let their biases peek through when reporting on an issue. Stephen Lamble states that in a nutshell, journalists' central functions are to seek truths and pass them on to their communities. In doing so, they often must decide what is in the public interest.
It is impossible to say that the journalist can be 100% objective because we have our own belief and values, and everyone has their own biases. But what we can do is try to be professional and ethical.
So how can journalists decide what's in the public interest, yet be neutral observers at the same time? I believe that ultimately, becoming a journalist means balancing between reporting the truth and giving a voice to those who are marginalized. But what do you believe?